It's another Iron Man build, and this box is a little heavier than normal. Shipment 8 comes with something extra. What is it? Let's wait and see.
This is your Geek Fix.
So as we open this new box, once again, we have, let's see here. In this case, we have 4 more volumes, 27 through 30. And on the inside, we have oh no, this is hand and elbow, I think. Maybe, I don't know. Definitely hand parts right there to finish things out. You remember, we built everything but the pinky in the last one. That was a little strange. And then, here is there's the actual repulsor and battery as well. And wait a minute, it seems like more parts than there are magazines. And then here's a giant spring and stuff. I don't know, this could get interesting. Take out the paper, and what's underneath? It's something special. This is one of the gifts. So this is, like I said, shipment 8, which means that it comes with something, and in this case, that something is a t-shirt, which, not too bad. It's a little bigger than what I normally order, but then again, I guess if you're going to send out t-shirts just randomly without asking people their size, an extra large is pretty safe. So yeah, that's the free gift. Look at that, got an arc reactor on it. Doesn't look half bad. I'm wondering if it glows in the dark. I'll have to test that later on. Jumping right into my magazines, volume 27. Looks like I'm going to be finishing up this part of the hand, the one with the fingers in it. There we go. And, ooh, I should have watched carefully to make sure that I don't need more screws, that I didn't lose some inside of my box. That actually happened in the last box. I lost some screws in there because I didn't know they were just loose. But at any rate, we do have some leftover CP and other screws, so hopefully that's all we need. Oh, there's the screws right there underneath. Okay, got 2 sets in fact. This magazine gets into something kind of interesting, which is the Thor Buster outfit. You remember that there was a Hulk Buster. In fact, I have a poster for that one over there. But the Thor Buster, yeah, there was one of those too. Continuing with my hand, using this piece right here, which is actually plastic. I didn't remember it being plastic. It's very hard to tell the difference between the plastic pieces and metallic pieces. Got this right here. I'm going to be starting off with my pinky and finishing things up. Start with this joint piece here, then sticking this piece into that joint piece, just like this, and then sticking in the end of that finger, which is just like this. This is the DP one. This is what I'm using to put in the end of the finger, so I'll just go ahead and put that one on, just like that. There we go, nice and tight. And then I want one of my CP screws for that reason, and just putting that on there. Seems like it's always the CP screws where I'm getting scratches. Okay. Once again, we'll test the finger. Perfect. Looks good. And put that over there. The magazine just shows us kind of where that piece will go in a few minutes. And then we get into the politician. So when Mr. Stark starts getting involved, another thing that I really liked about Iron Man 2, that was one of the big pieces there. Remember when he took over their televisions? Yep, he does that in here too. Yeah, I'd like to build one of those devices actually. Here he is beating up Thor. It looks like he's beat up pretty much all of his friends at some point in time or another. We're moving on to the ablative armor. This looks a lot like the gold armor that we covered before. These all come from a series called the Iron Age. Alright, so my left hand, right there, this is where we're going to start putting in buttons and little mechanical parts and things like that. And again, watching because I see that there's loose bags of screws in here. There we go. Those all right there. And so opening this up, repulsor, the hand, here's the mechanical pieces, I should say the electric pieces. There's my magnets for keeping the hand on. You know, one thing that's interesting about this whole build is that because we are building two sides of things, eventually, I mean, you have to do everything more than once, naturally. And so luckily, the way that they've spaced things out, at least you're not doing it right away where you're building two of this or two of that. In some ways. In other ways, I kind of feel like I'm going back to the very beginning. I think this would probably be faster for me if I just remembered how to put it together without having to refer so heavily to the instructions. But, you know, it is what it is. So first off, we have to take this big mess right here, and I need to take this part and bring it around so that it hooks on over here, basically. Now I'm ready to put that part down into here, which goes this direction. So I push it up through, then I can see part of my button, which I can still push on, or should be able to. Yep, okay. So I can push that through there, push on that still. I just need to now screw it down. And the screw, I'm going to use an IP screw right here. Okay. Right. All right. And then I also need, I didn't put in my other screws yet. I need 2 BM screws. Ah, yes. The bowel movement screws. All right. Now I need to put in this little plug right here. Pretty standard plug for a figure right there. And then we're gonna put our fingers on to here. Now remember that there were numbers for each of these fingers, so that's gonna guide us on which ones go where. We find out if this will go on top of that. Okay. And then I want to screw in EM screws. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Yeah. Finally, Spider-Man teams up. Joins up with Tony Stark, although in the comic, of course, he's closer to Tony's age, I think. You even get the Iron Spider, and yeah. And that brings us to number 29, which is this piece. Right here, which does have some screws that were loose with it. And once again, kind of a big piece. I'm not really sure. This must be a leg piece. I don't know. All right. See the Civil War, and there's MODOK. I gotta say, I really liked Patton Oswalt's MODOK. If you haven't seen it already, you should check it out. I think you can see it on Hulu. In this one, we're gonna be taking this piece right here, like this, along with this piece right here, which hooks with this side up. So we got this right there. I'm gonna stick that right over this, and it just connects right there, which I'm gonna have to screw in using my LM screws, which are right here. Okay, there's one, and one more, I think. Oh, nope, I don't put in another one. Yes, I do. On the next line. All right, and tighten that one in. Just like that. Okay. And then that's it. So this is the left knee joint is what this is. So eventually it's going to look like that. Any rate, Maria Stark Foundation, the Responsible Legacy, which is where we really thought that the whole thing was going from here, but not so far. There's no sign of her, so we'll see what happens. Next, I just got to put my battery in here, which I think goes this direction. Let's see. And then, after I've done that, we just stick that on there like this. And, yeah. Oh, yeah, and we gotta check, make sure, yep, turns on. Works fine. Closing up with our last volume, volume 30. I can't believe we've gotten all the way to volume 30, but look, it is one of my favorite supervillains, Loki. Now getting into the Avengers. And what is this? It's so interesting. It looks familiar. Oh, this actually goes on the last part I started to build, the knee. There's a giant spring involved in this one, which has me a little nervous. There are no screws. It does show some 3E adhesive, so that must be somewhere in here. So, bringing this piece back over here, orienting it like this. And then this also, just like inside the leg, it has these gear pieces. Just like in there, we're turning that outward like this. And then we are taking our spring and putting it on top of that. And then from there, I am going to be taking this little thing right here. And I'm going to be adding some adhesive to it, adhesive tape, from this little tiny thing, which is very tiny. Apply the double-sided adhesive tape to one of the sides of the washer. This will serve to stop the washer from moving out of place inside the joint. Now, we've got our ring with our adhesive tape. And then I'm going to take this right here, turning it around like so. I'm going to stick this down in here so that it sticks at the bottom. There we go. Now I can kind of push it down onto that, and then it should stay in place, I guess. Okay, so that part's done. All right, then I'm going to take that just like this, these two parts together, and I'm going to bring this down on top of here, like so. Okay. Yeah. And that's it. We're not hooking it into place yet, because I guess we don't have that other side to kind of finish it off. So I have to wait until our next box to do that. We get more about the Avengers here. Look, there's Spider-Man. In the comics, he actually showed up earlier than he could in real life because he wasn't owned by Sony. Anyway, so in the next episode, we're supposed to finish building that left knee joint, and it'll talk about Ultron Unlimited. So stay tuned for that. Want to thank Fanhome for providing us with this model to be able to review, but they also gave us a promo code. So if you're interested in purchasing this, use the code Tony Stark. Also, I'll continue to review these as they come out. So if you can't get it, you can also experience this by proxy. Remember to like, subscribe, comment below, keep watching. This is your Geek Fix.